Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're continuing on to Chapter 7 of Nancy Drew number 1, The Secret of the Old Clock. Chapter 7 Nancy Turns Sleuth. While Nancy Drew eagerly waited, scarcely daring to breathe naturally lest her presence be detected, Ada began to speak. Well, if there should happen to be another will, we may be dumps, she said sourly. I don't believe Joshua Crowley ever made such a will, Isabel replied, in so low a tone that Nancy scarcely caught the words. Evidently, Nancy Drew does, or she wouldn't be taking such an interest in those Horner girls, Ada returned. I know she had them at her house last week, because I was passing and saw them go in. How I hate that girl! If she should get her father interested, he might dig up another will. Even if another will does turn up, we can trust Dad to take care of it, Isabel commented dryly. You mean he would? Never mind what I mean, Isabel insinuated darkly. Mother and Dad wouldn't be simple enough to let that money get away from us. It's ours by right, anyhow. Didn't Joshua Crowley live on us? Yes, we ought to have all of the money after enduring him for nearly 3 years. Just the same, I don't like the way Nancy Drew has taken up with the Horner girls. She always did have a way of nosing into things she had no business to find out. Oh, pooh for her, Isabel scoffed. Let her try to discover anything she likes. The money was given to us fairly enough. The conversation ended abruptly as Isabel and Ada arose from the bench and walked on down the street. Nancy waited until they were out of sight and then emerged from the bushes. There may be a chance to find that missing will after all, she reasoned, as she sank down on the bench vacated by Isabel and Ada. Nancy had always been convinced that Joshua Crowley had made a second will. However, since her talk with the Horner girls, she had shared her father's opinion that the document had fallen into the hands of the Tompkins only to be destroyed. This conviction had discouraged her. Now the information which she had gleaned from the snatch of overheard conversation gave her new hope. From what Isabel and Ada had said, she was led to believe that if Jocelyn Crowley had made a second will, the Tompkins were as ignorant as herself concerning its whereabouts. Anyway, it's encouraging to know the will hasn't been destroyed, Nancy told herself. But there's one thing certain. If the Tompkins ever get their hands on it, they'll take care it never comes to light. From what Isabel and Ada said, I judge they're beginning to realize their position is anything but secure. If I'm ever to find that will, I must get busy before they beat me to it. Nancy Drew possessed her father's liking for a mystery, and she delighted in a battle of wits when championing a worthy cause. Carson Drew had often remarked that he enjoyed the detective work of his cases better than the court work, but Nancy knew he was too busy with his own cases to devote much attention to the missing Crowley will. If anything were done to help the Horner girls win their inheritance, she must accomplish it herself. As Nancy reviewed the facts of the case, it seemed to her that she must have overlooked a possible clue. Never had a mystery appeared more baffling. For nearly 10 minutes Nancy sat lost in deep thought. Then, with a cry of delight, she sprang to her feet. How stupid of me not to think of it before. The Horner girls aren't the only ones who should have figured in the will. There were a number of relatives, and father said that they filed a claim, too. I wonder who they are. If I could talk with them, it's possible I might learn something that would have a bearing on the case. Convinced that the inspiration was a happy one, she set off toward her father's office. He was engaged in an important conference when she arrived, and Nancy was forced to wait 10 minutes before she was admitted to the inner office. Now what? Her father asked, smiling as she burst in upon him. Is it a new dress you want? Nancy's cheeks were flushed and her eyes danced with excitement. Don't try to tease me, she protested. I've stumbled onto something important, and I want information. At your service, Nancy, Mr. Drew said, but if it's about that Crowley case, I've told you everything I know. Nancy poured out the story of her encounter with the Tompkins sisters in the department store, and told of the conversation she had overheard in the public park. Mr. Drew listened with interest until she had finished. And now, what is it you want? He asked gravely. I thought if I went to those other relatives, I might be able to learn something which may help solve the mystery. A good idea, Nancy. but I don't know their names, and that's why I came to you. I wish I could help you, but I'm afraid I can't. Mr. Drew said regretfully. Nancy's face fell. Wait a minute, he called as she turned to leave. I can supply the names you want, but I think I can tell you where. I can't supply the names you want, but I think I can tell you where to find them. Where? At the courthouse. It should be on file. He glanced at his watch and frowned. But I'm afraid it is too late to go there this afternoon. Oh, and I'm anxious to find out right away, Nancy declared in disappointment. If I delay even a single day, the Tompkins may get ahead of me and find that will. Suddenly, her face brightened as she thought of something. I know. I'll jump into the roadster and run out and have a talk with the Horner girls. They should be able to furnish me the information. You can try them at least. That's just what I'll do, Nancy decided as she turned again toward the door. Just a minute, Carson Drew stopped her. I wonder if you realize just what you're getting into, Nancy. Why? What do you mean? Only this: detective work isn't always the safest occupation in which to engage. I happen to know that Richard Thompson is an unpleasant man when crossed. If you actually succeed in learning anything which may help the Horner girls, you are certain to have the Thompsons in your wool. I'm not afraid of them, Father. Good, Mr. Drew explained. I was hoping you would say that. I'm glad you have the courage of your convictions, but I didn't want you to march off into the battle without a knowledge of what undoubtedly you will be up against. Battle. Yes, battle. Rest assured the Thompsons won't give up the fortune without a bitter struggle. However, if they attempt to make serious trouble, I promise to deal with them myself. I only wish I had the time to help you find the will. And if I find it, I'll take the matter into court. Oh, thank you. There's no one like you in all the world. Nancy moved toward the door. I may not get back until rather late, she threw back over her shoulder. I have a feeling I may discover a real clue today, and if I do, I'm going to trail it down. With characteristic impetuosity, she darted from the room, permitting the office door to bang behind her. And that was chapter 7 of Nancy Drew, number 1, The Secret of the Old Clock. Please like and subscribe. And this is Raven Cross. Have a great day.